Okay, good. We want
So,
to make Stan a co-host as soon as he shows up.
right. And I also want to get this camera going so that
There we go.
so people they can see people in the room.
Mhm.
And if I recall, you sent me a link to Zoom, right?
Yes.
Let's see if I can just share.
Also, you're gonna
Yeah, hang on.
sign in on yours also.
Meeting invite.
Okay, good.
Hey, we got two David Smiths here.
Hey, how's it going?
Good. How are you?
There
Good.
we go.
I'm getting the conference room set up.
Stan, can you see me yet?
I see a box that says conference.
Okay. Yeah, we're getting the video going here. Maybe you can greet people as they come in, Stan, while we're let them know what's going on.
Okay.
Okay, that's looking good. So I face this way. Let's see. Here's okay.
And so how do I make Stan co-host?
Go to participants down at the bottom. And then find Stan and you'll see.
I'm probably
more
already.
right here.
Okay, so it says David Smith is host and I'm stay as co-host. So I can stay as co-host or I can reclaim host based on a message that's here. So you don't need to do anything.
Okay. Yeah, you were going to have the meeting downloaded, so why don't you go ahead and become host?
All right, so I'm now the host.
Excellent.
And let me just see what it says here with regard to.
Thanks.
Okay, so now it gives me the option to record to the cloud. So, okay, I'll hit record to the cloud as we're getting started.
Perfect. So, yeah, and Reynard is here. Reynard, do you have video? Can you hear?
He's got.
Yeah, I can hear. Yeah, no, sorry, I don't have a video set up.
Okay, that's fine. Welcome to the meeting.
Thank you. It's a pleasure to be here.
We've got a few more that are going to be arriving.
Okay.
This is what we call a hybrid meeting. We've got some people here live, and we've also got a number of people who are signing in virtually.
Okay.
So David, are you looking at the TV as you're talking?
You know, that's the problem. I need the position.
Yeah, if you,
Or maybe
so
put it right
whenever
there.
you're trying to address people, especially anybody that's virtual, make sure you look at the camera or whatever, because then it looks like you're talking to us and not to space.
Well, let's see. Yeah, I know that was a little weird. Okay,
Yeah, can you bring that down some? There we go. That's better.
awesome. And then how about Jim? How are we going to see you?
Well, I see Jim on a different screen.
Okay, good. I think we're good.
Okay.
Right now, this is our first time with a hybrid meeting.
Is there any way to close that window in the back, or is it closed?
Oh yeah.
The blinds?
No, they can be closed more. We're catching that right now.
That's a lot better.
Good.
Little bit better.
Yeah. The only thing that could make it even better is if we had light in front of us.
I'm on it.
Yep.
All right.
I mean, that's not bad right there. That took away a lot of that glare. So if it's not too dark in the room, then that's great. But
And
from the video standpoint, that's a much better solution, but we'll see.
yeah, good. Thanks for setting that up. Here comes a real light.
Here comes the big guns.
Yep. Oh my gosh. Yeah, Jim does a lot of video recording, and so he's got an entire setup complete with green screen. on
Got
it.
his equipment.
Yeah. So now there we go.
Is that any better?
It is better. Good,
Yeah, that's good.
Jim.
Good enough.
Okay, what time do you have, Stan?
11:24.
Okay, so we'll hang around just a few more minutes until 11:30.
Yeah, the only other thing that would have been nice would be to have a microphone right there on the table near you, because you sound like you're in a hole.
Oh, really? Okay.
But that's okay.
I'll be back.
You got a mic. Okay, all right.
As a mic, he's got all the equipment. We're discovering all this at this point. So Reynard, tell us a little bit about yourself.
Well, I am 20 years old. I live in Las Vegas, Nevada. I am currently attending Nevada State College for a degree in digital cinema. And I work at a company called Aardvark Video Las Vegas under the boss and owner of it, Richard DePasso. And I'm here to basically just learn a lot about networking and whatnot.
So Renard, I'm going to be brutal for a second here. How can you be in video and all of that stuff and not have that set up on your computer?
Well, I'm in the office.
So yeah, Reynard, I've worked with Richard DePasso before, and both Stan and I have collaborated with him on various projects. And so yeah, it's great to see. How long have you been with Richard?
I think it's been like close to 7 months now. I've been with him.
And how is that business going? How are you liking it?
I'm liking it very much. It's been going really well. He's a great boss, and we've been getting a lot of jobs, and it's been a hell of a ride so far.
Excellent. Well, you've got the best trainer for video productions you could possibly have in Richard. He's an amazing guy.
Oh yeah, I know.
Good. Well, I'm so glad that you came, and we definitely value the connection with Richard and you.
Thank you.
Sorry, I must have left it at home.
Oh, that's all right. Do I still sound hard to hear?
Yeah, I mean, it's just a little bit muffled because you're away from the mic. You're back away from the mic. So that's just something to keep in mind, is to have an external mic that can either sit on the table or something like that, so that it's pretty close.
I'll fix that next time.
Or maybe Jim's got this fancy boom mic that can come down and hang over your head, so it's just out of the camera, you know.
And if you say something weird, it'll just drop the boom on your head.
That's
That's
right.
right.
And Jim, I want to apologize. I had every plan on being there, but I spoke with David. My whole family's sick. I'm the only one that's actually made it to work for 3 days.
Oh, no.
So we made the decision. It didn't make sense to infect everybody,
Yeah, no worries.
just my clients.
Well, fortunately, you cannot be infected through a Zoom virtual meeting, so.
It's much more difficult.
Yeah. Julie, good to see you, and Gary, good to see you here.
Gary's a little static there, isn't he?
What's that?
He's a little static.
He's using just as a photo.
Yep. Just kind of, we should all do our Gary imitation. Here, hold on.
There you go. Only you needed to lean your head the other direction, but you were pretty close. Well, Stan, let's see. I guess it's still not 11:30 yet.
Nope.
Julie, how are you?
I'm good. I'm good.
Have you made your 50 calls today?
You know, it's 200.
Oh, that's right. I always
You know,
say-
it's 250. I wish it was 50. Hey, Chad, David Smith says we only have to make 50 calls a day. Chad's laughing too.
Oh, boy.
No, but you know, I mean, if you saw my desk, it would look promising. Mark can tell you how people are though. Oh, yeah, we'll get back to you. And you never hear from them again.
That's why you make 200 calls.
One of my favorite is they wait like 5 months, then they get back with you and think you just had the conversation yesterday.
Yeah, and the rate's a little bit different.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. Very infrequently does insurance go down over time.
Well, with inflation, nothing's going to be going down.
No.
No.
Nope.
You know, especially we're seeing with like home reconstruction costs. I would say I've been doing this since 2003, and maybe 3, 4, 5% increases year over year. Since last June, maybe 40% increases.
Yeah.
Wow.
Well, reconstruction costs are going through the roof.
Yeah, it's nuts.
All right, so let's go ahead and get started. We are at 11:30, and so we are here for Network Las Vegas, and the first meeting, the hybrid meeting. We'll see if anybody walks in, surprises Jim and David. Walks in.
Petra coming by.
What's that?
Petra. She actually stuck her head in the office about a half hour ago. Said she was going to get a sandwich at Vaughn's and she was going to be right back.
Perfect. All right, very good. Let's see. So Renard, how do you say your name? Is it Renard or is it Reynard?
It could be either or. I don't really mind it, to be honest. But if it's easier for you guys, you could just call me Ray.
That's a whole lot easier. So anyway, what I was going to say, you say it could be either or. What name did your mother give you?
Don't know. She switches it up sometimes.
It depends on if he's in trouble or not. Come on, you know
Exactly,
how it goes.
right?
Definitely. Definitely.
Okay. All right. And is your last name Armijo?
Yes.
Okay. We got that part defined. All right, good. So glad you could join us today. So we're going to go through I imagine we're going to do our normal process here where we are going to just we'll have David give us any updates that he may have, and then we're going to do some 30-second introductions or 60-second introductions. And then we've got Mark Pico, who is one speaker for today, and our other speaker doesn't appear to be here yet, so I'm not sure if she's going to be here or not. So if not, we will improvise. We'll do something else. So at any rate, and then we'll either do some brainstorming or what do we call it, David? It's brainstorming, but really trying to connect and see how can we help each other, that kind of thing. So,
Definitely, yeah.
all right. So go ahead, David. Any announcements for us? Anything you want to touch on?
Well, what we have going right now is we've got our first hybrid meeting here where we're meeting in person, plus we are meeting on Zoom. So this is a great experiment. We found that the monthly social has had a great attendance, and coming out of COVID, I think people really want to meet more in person, but we have a history the last 2 years of meeting virtually as a group. So we've got a good virtual group that you see here on the screen, and we're going to be growing our live group, the social once a month on the fourth Tuesday, normally has 15 to as many as 30 people. And so we've got a lot of promise here. What we're planning to do is focus even more on generating business and ways to generate business. We have spoken about business presentations, and when you give a business presentation, be thinking in terms of sharing something of informational value. I know the first business presentation people give, it's like an introduction to your business. This is what I do. This is the value of what I do. And it's more an introduction and a sales presentation. But when you get into the second, third presentation, then what you want to do is begin to give some information of value. And what I mean by that is, for example, Stan and I are in marketing. And so rather than just presenting, hey, these are all the marketing services we offer, what we've been doing is presenting marketing tips and strategies, and it's focused on helping people to grow their marketing skills. And Jim has done a presentation before. Mark has done a presentation. I think everyone else has done a presentation that's in the room. What I want you to be thinking is, for your next presentation, be thinking of what information of value you can share. Definitely, if it has to do with your business, fantastic. If it's something that you discovered in research and it's a business strategy, go ahead and present that. And so this way we'll increase the value of our meetings. Of course, we always encourage people to do a one-to-one with people who come to our meetings. I've been thinking over the past couple of years, we have had probably, based on our retention, we could have like easily 40 people in the room today. And retention is accomplished through connecting personally with people. So be thinking of who you might invite to just have a personal Zoom meeting together or meet at Starbucks. And that creates the kind of connection that creates more engagement on the part of our group. And so systematically we do these things, we grow. And speaking of having a one-to-one, let's all put into the chat, put your contact information, and maybe Jim, you could put Petra's contact information into chat. And then we'll download it. Encourage you all to download it after the meeting and connect with someone. And also, let's do some inviting. We've got all the structure to make this a very successful group and all the knowledge, and we've got some really good leadership in our group. So we just need to work the system now and really grow the group. So that's pretty much where the announcement that I have. One additional announcement: be looking at the 4th Tuesday of this month. The meeting is going to be at Robbins, and
Do we have an address for that yet?
yes, in fact, it's on networklasvegas.com.
Okay.
Not being at my computer, I mean, you can go to networklasvegas.com. You can look at the schedule, and we've got the address for Robbins Realty Company, and we're going to be meeting there. Boy, I'm drawing a blank on the name of her realty. Vice Realty.
Vice Realty.
There you go.
Hey, David, can you just introduce everybody that's in the room with you? I can only see you. I'm curious who else is there live and in person.
Well, we're actually going to do that through introductions as we do the intro and stuff. We'll have people go
Oh,
around.
okay.
So yeah, we've got Jim, who's on his own screen there, and then we've got Petra over here and myself. And so if you could see us, you're seeing everyone in the room.
Perfect. Okay. Thank you.
Okay, sure. Thanks for asking. Okay.
Maybe so. So David, let's do the 60-second introductions. And when is it Pika? Petra, like TRA, whenever, I guess, as she introduces herself, maybe come over closer to the camera
Yeah.
so that we can see her.
Yeah, go ahead and
And, oh, there we go.
tell us
Jim's
about
going to
yourself.
share his. Good.
Tell us about yourself.
I'm Petra Reyes, and I'm a realtor. I've been a realtor for 14 years. I work with Signature Real Estate Group in the Southwest. I've been through all the foreclosure, all the bad times, the good times, and let's see what's coming up next.
And would you say commercial or
Just
residential?
residential,
Residential. Okay.
sale, buy, rent, or stuff like that.
What brokerage again?
Signature Realty
Signature,
Group.
okay.
Signature Realty Group.
Okay, excellent. That's
With
very good.
Janet Carpenter. You guys probably know her.
Who?
Janet Carpenter.
No.
Okay.
Okay. So anyway, yeah, we have a commercial realtor, Robin.
Okay.
And so.
Robin Yates.
Robin Grayson. Yes. And so, yeah, residential realtor, I think could be a good connection.
Okay.
Okay. Very good.
Thank you.
Okay.
Great. So why don't you guys finish up? Let Jim introduce himself, and somebody, I guess, maybe if you want to put Petra's information into the chat, that'd be great.
Sure. Petra, do you have a business card? I'll put that in there for you.
Mhm.
Okay.
I'm Jim with ifindproperties.com, and we specialize in property management. And so a great lead for me is anyone you know that owns a rental property and they're managing it themselves. So most owners don't manage their own property effectively. Most owners right now, for example, are getting $200 or $300 less per month out of their rental. So just by hiring me, they probably make $200 or $300 more per month if they just made a phone call. So another great lead for me is other real estate agents, because all my business comes from other agents.
Yeah, I know.
So I'm Jim with ifindproperties.com.
Perfect. Thank you. We lost the conference room camera, so we can't see David.
Now you're done it.
Okay. Well, here we go. We're just going to keep
Yeah, that's going to be an issue.
spinning this computer. Hey, it's working. Okay, Dave Smith with marketing department lv.com. And what I do is basically I'm a generalist, as far as marketing. I design websites, I do email marketing, social media marketing, and one of my core skills is writing. And a lot of people definitely, understand their business, they're focused on their business, but when it comes to describing it, writing, that is a challenge. And so that's where I come in. If you're looking for someone to manage all of your marketing, and I just take a few clients. I'm a freelancer. I am your person. Dave Smith, Marketing Department, LV.com.
All right, awesome. All right, well, I'm the next one on my screen. So Stan Shields, Marketing Automation Solutions, and I help you automate your marketing so that it gets done on autopilot and takes a lot of the thought that has to go into it, take a lot of that out of it so that you set your systems up and you let your system run and your systems start to generate business for you. So Stan Shields, Marketing Automation. Mark Pico, you want to go?
Oops,
You're
Yeah,
muted, though. There you go.
There you go. Hey, first of all, before I get started, number one, as bad as my voice normally is, the cold this weekend made it worse. Number two, happy Star Wars Day. May the 4th be with you. Here's a question for all you geeks. What computer program do Jedi Knights use to open a PDF? Adobe Wan Kenobi.
Oh, that's so horrible.
Oh,
I-
God.
Didn't
thought
say
it
it
was
was
pretty
good. I
good.
just said it was there.
We call that a dad joke, Mark.
It's a grandpa joke, I think now. I'm not a grandpa, but it's really bad. But anyway, Mark with Battleborn Insurance LV. We do a little bit of everything. The big thing that we were talking, Julie and I were talking about this before we got started, but the environment, the economic environment has changed a lot in the last year. Gas is up 50, 60%.
Groceries.
Construction materials are up almost 300% in some cases. Whether you're looking for insurance, you're looking for banking information. I know mortgage rates have just gone up a lot. Typically, time doesn't help. So when you're looking for insurance, looking for help with anybody, don't wait until the last minute and hope for the best. Plan it on out and a couple of weeks, even a month in advance. And I've had a couple of carriers no longer cover or offer insurance on certain lines of business. So that's something that I just need to keep in mind. So the world is changing, so we need to be a little more proactive. That's about it.
All right.
Right, very good. Thank you. Julie.
I'm Julie Harris. I'm with Farmers Insurance. Mark and I are sort of competitors, sort of not, but we both do auto, home, umbrella, life insurance, and commercial. So anybody that needs like business policies, general liability and professional liability, I can take care of. And like Mark said, there's a lot going on in insurance right now. I have one carrier that is, love this, no longer riding in Southern Nevada due to the wildfire dangers. And they calculated that based on housing density and drought conditions equal wildfires. So basically it's just a company that is pulling out of Southern Nevada, and that was their logistics for it. So yeah, things are definitely changing pretty much every day.
All right. So thank you. Gary.
Yeah, hi, my name's Gary. I'm a director in Legalshield, and I help businesses legally protect their assets so that they can focus on growing a thriving, healthy business. And I'm looking for business owners or people over 25 with families, specifically with teenage drivers, because we have a traffic ticket assistance portion of our benefits, which helped me immensely. And I know it can help everybody else. And our attorneys have helped one of my clients save their business, and we can do it for anybody else too. So anyway, that's what I do, and I'm hoping to talk to all of you. Thank you.
Very good.
All right, thanks, Gary. And our long lost friend, Gina.
Yeah. Hi, Gina.
There we go with the mute button. Sorry for not seeing you guys in a while. It's just been crazy. I've had a lot of scheduling conflicts, but trying to be back and be present. Good to see you all. Those of you who don't know me, Gina Maceo, America First Credit Union. And I usually say, if you hate your bank or know anyone that does, please send them to the Friendly Credit Union girl. I'm really focusing a lot more on business these days than personal, but I will take any referral that you'd like to give me. The two things I can say about business, not too many banks have a free business checking account, and we still do. The same credit union philosophy of people helping people still applies, less fees, more competitive rates. We're also the #1 SBA lender in Nevada and Utah now. So that's really exciting. We've been getting a lot of calls on SBA and commercial lending. So I know Robin and I have talked a little bit about that, any referrals we can get going. So yeah, just happy to see you guys again. Thank you.
Gina, do you handle SBA loans yourself, or is this someone else in your branch?
You know what I love about my job? I do a whole lot of talking and handling nothing. So I have a whole lot of people that are the experts. So whatever it is that you need. Yeah, I am not the SBA lender, but the exciting news is we did bring on, because a lot of our corporate office is up in Utah, and a lot of our like commercial lending guys and those people are up there in Utah. I don't have anyone here in Vegas, but I do have an SBA guy here in Vegas now, and he comes to us with over 30 years experience in SBA, and he is amazing. So yeah, I can always connect you with him.
Got it. Thank you.
Mhm.
Very good. Thank you. All right, Ray, your turn.
All right, my name is Reynard Armijo, and I work for a video production company called Aardvark Video under the boss Richard DePasso. And what we do is we basically provide video production services for anyone's need, and it's like we provide a lot from training videos to corporate trade shows to panel recording presentations, live streams, virtual tours, like the whole wide range of things. And so we always try to be perfect with every job we do, and we always work our very hardest with it. We always try to make our clients happy, and no matter what, we'll always deliver up to the expectation of the client.
Okay, thank you. All right, very good. So that's everybody that's here on my screen, and I assume in the room, since I can see 3 people over there. David, with you, is that it? Nobody else came in and surprised us?
We're the group in the room.
Okay, so good. All right, well, the next thing then we go into is our presentation and Mark Pico is our presenter. So Mark, you're able to share your screen if you'd like to, and let's go ahead. And now here's what we can do is we can make Mark like the featured person here, and we can spotlight him. Although that kind of really doesn't matter if you are using the screen and presenting, so it doesn't matter.
Yeah, so let's just kind of stay with this, if that's okay. So I'm going to just jump right on in. Some of you have seen different things I've done before. I'll be honest with you, those of you that know me know I'm a little weird. So my presentations tend to be a little bit weird. So I'm just going to talk a little bit about insurance in general. I'm not going to get into the weeds. More than happy to do that with anybody, but realistically, and I think Julie will can agree with me, a lot of people have misconceptions about insurance. It's simple, it's hard, it's complex, it's basic, it adds value, it's a scam, pretty much across the board. So we're going to kind of talk a little bit through some of those things. So the first thing is, when you get to a party, what is it that people find most exciting to talk about? You have people that talk about their vacations, people talk about their luxury jewelry, but in actuality, would you be surprised if I said that the number one topic that the beautiful people in the world talk about, the sexiest people in the world talk about, would be insurance? Well, you'd be wrong if you thought that was the case. Nobody wants to talk about it, but it is a lot more important than you might think. So the fact that it's important really means that there are a lot of ways you can get information. We have people like Stan and David who do a wonderful job at, presenting information on the internet. Julie and I have probably worked with agents that look a lot like these two guys. You can get people that can get insurance over the phone. There's a lot of different ways to get insurance, but I'll be honest with you, I wouldn't trust these guys with cleaning my bathroom, let alone my financial future. So it's probably more important that you get information about what it is you're going to spend, how it's going to be spent, and what it's going to do for you. So the best way to be sure that your assets and your family are protected, talk to somebody that knows what they're doing. Talk to somebody experienced. As my friend Liam down there says, he'll find you, he'll help you save money, but more important, a good agent will help you get value for the dollars that you're spending. And there's a difference between being cheapest and being most valuable. So all that said, insurance really isn't that complicated, right? Get an accident, something happens, you get paid. So if it's not complicated, why can't I figure out it? And why can't I do all this on my own? Well, you kind of can, but how many different types of insurance could there possibly be? So depending on your situation, you as a consumer might need to be an expert on auto, home, landlord policies, vacant home policies, renters policies, umbrella policies, both commercial and personal, insurance for your toys, general liability, business owners policies, professional liability, workers' comp, commercial vehicle, cyber liability, bonds, life insurance, and you want term, whole life, indexed, health insurance, or more. There's a lot to know. And most people are very good at what they know. The challenge is, do they know what they don't know? And that's where someone like Julie or I come in handy on insurance. That's where Stan and David come in handy on marketing. That's where Jim comes in handy on, protecting your rental assets. You got to find the right people that know what they're doing and have a better chance. So we're going to take a look-see at, what you might need to consider. And I love this dog, by the way. I think he's funny. So auto insurance, there's probably one policy that people think they know more about than any other, and that's their auto policy. I can't tell you how many times I've had people say, hey, I want, full coverage. Well, look in the dictionary for what full coverage is, and you're not going to find it. There is nothing. The state defines full coverage as your liability limits, which today are 25, 50, 20. And most of you probably don't even know what that means. And that doesn't mean you're not smart. It means the industry has done a crap job at helping you understand. But there's more to it than your liability. What do you need? There are things like MedPay, comp and collision, rental, towing, things of that nature. And all those things may be valuable. All those things may not be valuable. It depends on who you are and what it is that you need. And without having the chance to speak with someone, you may get what somebody else thinks you need, but that may not have anything to do with what you actually do need. So again, it's a pretty simple concept, but if you're not educated in it, it can be very complicated. So I know we have a realtor in the room and a property manager. So protecting your residents got to be easy, right? Well, you need a homeowner's policy, a dwelling policy, a landlord policy, a vacant home policy, a renter's policy, long or short term, what coverages you need, what's your dwelling limit, your coverage A, do you want replacement costs or actual cash value? How much liability do you need? All of those things come into play. And those are all things that are important to discuss. For most of us, our biggest asset that we own is our home. And yet, I can't tell you how many times I've talked to people who got their insurance at closing when they bought their house, and they just forgot about it and got whatever was offered. So, okay, so that's kind of hard, but your toys, how hard can they be? Well, you got a boat policy. Do you need a boat policy? Not necessarily. But if you do have it, what kind of coverages do you need? You need pollution coverage? Do you need coverage for there's actually coverage for animals that are on your boat if they get injured. My favorite's the one in the middle, motorcycle insurance. There's all kinds of things to discuss on that. And it is probably the one, I probably know more about this than most people in the Valley. Your RV coverage. A lot of people are doing conversions or buying buses and converting those to RVs. Really tough to get those insured. So before people start doing that, they need to take that into account. Here's another one. So you think you got yourself covered, but do you? So do you really need an umbrella policy too? So a misunderstanding about umbrella policies is, number one, that they're expensive, and number two, what do? They're primarily additional liability if someone is injured due to your negligence by your vehicle or your home. We could include your rental properties, we can include your motorcycle, we can include your RV, can include a lot of stuff, but it's dirt cheap. To give you an idea, $1 million umbrella policy for someone with 2 cars and a house, probably going to be about $250 a year. So when you think about that, you can't buy any other insurance for that price. But do you need it? Don't know till we talk. All right, so business policies. There's a lot of those as well. So workers' comp, required by law in the state of Nevada. If you have an employee, you have to have workers' comp. That's getting very difficult. I was mentioning earlier in my 30-second commercial that some carriers are dropping. I've gone through a total of 14 carriers to try to get a monoline workers' comp policy for a general contractor. Last year, that was a piece of cake. Something's happened in the industry, and I've only found one, and it's 2.5 times what he was paying last year. So there's a lot of things to look at. Life insurance. Pretty much whatever you have is worthless if you're not here. You can have great insurance, auto insurance, but if you're no longer with your family, that doesn't help a lot. So life insurance is a great way to protect yourself and protect your family. You can use it for mortgage protection to protect some asset or some risk that you have out there for a limited period of time. You can go ahead and get insurance for a young family. You can get insurance that'll protect your insurability for life. You can get insurance that will help you build wealth with very little to no tax implications. So there's all kinds of stuff. But to be honest with you, the only insurance, life insurance that's really important is the life insurance that's enforced when you die. You want to make sure that your family has something to help you on out or to help them on out. Accidents happen. Health insurance is super expensive. If you're fortunate enough to work for a company, I'm assuming like Gina, has got a great health plan with her group, but a lot of us don't. A lot of us are individuals. So you're going to be seeing some, and you have seen some very expensive health insurance. There are some options out there that you may want to take advantage of. And really what it comes down to, and I know I kind of went through that fairly quickly, is if you want to make sure you've got the right plan in place, that you've got your questions answered, that you've been presented with all the options that might make sense for your specific situation, you definitely want to talk with somebody that knows what they're doing. I have been doing this for 19 years now. I know Julie is very good at this. You want to find somebody that, number one, knows what they're doing, and number two, cares to make sure you understand what it is that you have, and takes the time to at least give you an idea what you might need. And I guess that's about it. So any questions from you guys? Or did I bore you completely? Or was I on mute?
You were muted the whole time.
There you
Just
go.
kidding. Just kidding. So it's funny. I like the motorcycle one that you've got, and that's probably one that you and I need to talk about for me, but the picture was great. If she asks, we didn't go for a ride.
No. And if we did, it was for work. We didn't just
That's right.
We didn't go to Mountain Springs for a beer.
So anybody have any questions, comments? All right.
The biggest comment I have is, if you ever go to an insurance agent and they take your current policy, type up a bunch of stuff and say, here's your price, and that's it, walk away. If they're not asking you questions, if they're not talking to you about what options you have, walk away.
I've got a
All right.
question, Mark.
I'm going to stop sharing then.
All right.
Can you hear me?
Yes.
Okay, yeah, my question would be, you have made a big change from farmers insurance as an agent to your own broker in the past couple of years. And just tell us, how is that going? What is your next step? How's the transition gone for you?
Well, it's like anything else, change is always fun. And when you're an ancient, person like me, change is even harder. But I couldn't be happier. In the last 18 months now, it's just about 18 months. We've grown our agency. We've probably got direct relationships with, I'm going to say, probably 45 or 50 different insurance companies that I have direct relationships with. I have indirect relationships with about another 40. So other than that one workers' comp guy, I never have a problem finding anybody what they need. And it's not, oddly enough, it's not, you would think, okay, a lot of these weird little companies you never heard of. I actually am appointed by Allstate, which is, to be honest, not the greatest rate in this time frame. But we've got Chubb, we've got, Travelers, we've got MetLife, we've got a little bit of everything. So what that allows me to do is to really hone in and find the best opportunity for the individual to get them the best coverage at a reasonable rate. Not always going to be the cheapest. I may not choose the cheapest for you, but it may be the most valuable. But now the flip side is, when I was with farmers, it was pretty easy. I had to interact with the farmers website. I had to interact with Bristol West, which I have, and Foremost, which I have, and that was it. Now I've got about 40 different websites to interact with, accord forms to fill out. So it's much more complicated, but it is much more rewarding. And it's opened up. I'm working on an $800,000 premium policy. I'm working on a $300,000 premium policy and a $100,000 premium policy. None of these would have been good fits when I was with Farmers.
What is your next step? What would you like to achieve in the next 12 months? And how can we help you?
I'd like to close all 3 of those policies. And then I'll take a month off.
No, you
Actually, what
won't.
would be helpful to me is when we were with Farmers, we just moved to this little teeny tiny office. I had a 1,250 square foot office. I had 7 desks. I had 7 people working with me prior to COVID. And then COVID hit and they all decided to stay home and, you know, live off the government. Now they don't know how to work any longer. So what would be helpful to me is to find someone who has a passion for this industry and help me on out. I don't need 7 people, to be honest with you. With
You need 1 or 2 really good people.
need 1 or 2 really good people, and with the reach that I have with all these carriers, it's a much more, I'm leaning much more heavily on commercial than I am on personal lines, which means there's maybe a little bit more lead time on those, but there's a whole lot less work after the fact. So, yeah, I'm looking for people that might have that interest, that passion. But as Julie knows, not an easy business, you know,
It's
200
brutal.
calls a day.
It's brutal.
It's brutal, but the nice thing is if you have a good boss like me who shares renewals in, you know, 3, 4, 5 years, you could make a decent living. Not going to make it year 1 though, most likely. You're gonna,
Like real estate agents.
yeah,
Hassle.
yeah. So, but yeah, for me, finding the right people. But the big thing is if you know any brick and mortar type people, commercial vehicles do great on, cyber liability, general liability, workers' comp, except for general contractors. And I still can't figure that one out. You know, shoot them my way and I'll tell them whether I can help or not.
Very good. Well, thank you.
And don't forget landlord policies and short-term rentals, you know, Airbnb, we can do all that stuff.
Very good.
Do you have insurance and only Nevada or other states too?
We're just Nevada right now since we changed just 15, 18 months ago. I'm going to add Arizona and I'm going to add Utah probably before the end of the year. Not to offend anybody, but I hate California. I lived there for a short time. Couldn't wait to get the hell out. And their regulations are such a pain. I don't want to do anything with California.
That's fair enough. Okay, well, let's move on. Stan, can you share your screen and look up who are our speakers for the 3rd Wednesday?
Well, you say look up. I have my list, but I don't know.
Okay, well, if you've got the list, that's fine. I was going to say look up as far as go to networklasvegas.com.
Oh, I got you. Satira and Gary are who's supposed to be speaking next in 2 weeks.
Okay. And what would make this work good for them as far as getting a video with you? You'd stand as video interviews before the meeting. What would make this work?
Yeah, I mean, I've pretty much gotten that figured out. It's like, we'll just literally schedule a time. If the meeting is going to be one of these where it's the hybrid meeting, I'll just schedule a time that's not the same day as the actual meeting, right? To do that with people. So, and I'll just do that individually with them, at least at the moment. right, we'll do that. If it's the regular meeting, like on the 18th, that's the normal schedule. So we can do our interview at 11 o'clock, which is what it would normally be. And then we go into this meeting, which will be at 11:30, and all is good. So for that one, we don't need to change anything. It's only this hybrid meeting where it throws a curveball at us.
Okay,
So we're good. Not a big deal.
very good.
Okay. Good. So do we want to do any of the, you like to have the conversation, David, of the joint venturing of how can we help each other or do any of that? Do we want to do any of that today, or do we want to just go ahead and go around the room and see if anybody has any testimonials or,
I think testimonials would be good at this point.
okay, good. Anybody have any testimonials that they want to share with working with somebody in the group, or maybe you did a one-to-one and you'd like to just give them a shout out for how awesome they were in that one-to-one or any of that kind of stuff. Is that
Sure.
Jim raising his hand?
Yeah, I have two. Bonnie's working on some embroidered shirts for us. We do a lot of inspections and things like that, and I know that would help us when we come to the door. People won't freak out, and so that's one thing we're working on. And she's very pleasant to work with. And I've done this testimonial before, but new
I'm
people.
in the middle of something.
Yes, we are. The other testimonial is for David, of course. He's been coaching me on social media and doing videos and things like that. And he's done a tremendous job recently categorizing my YouTube videos, and there's been an increase in subscribers. And of course, everyone knows that that's the new marketing methodology that everyone's going to be using in the future. And so you've been doing a great job.
Thank you, Jim.
Very good. Awesome. Gary.
He knocks it out of the park every time.
We missed the whole first part of that because you were muted.
Oh, sorry. I always do that.
We don't know who knocks it out of the park.
Mark.
Mark knocks it out of the park. So,
Yeah.
The
okay.
best value for the least money.
And if I can just jump on in, I mentioned it, I think last time, I had a little bit of, I'll kind of chase something forever if it pisses me off enough. And I had an issue with something I ordered online. It wasn't very expensive, but it just bothered me that somebody was taking my money and not giving me my product. So I worked, Gary got me hooked up with Legalshield. I worked with them, got the letters sent. Between that and a couple of other things, got my money back.
All right.
Cool.
Very good.
Yeah, I'd like to give a shout out for Stan, as I often do. If you go to networklasvegas.com and under the members tab, look for spotlight videos, you'll see Stan's work, where every time we have a speaker, he meets with that speaker and does an interview with them and does a YouTube live presentation. And I encourage you just to look at a few of Stan's interviews and imagine yourself using Stan, having him do an interview with you about your business and putting that on the homepage of your website. It can be very powerful to have that kind of dialogue going on. It's very brief, succinct, and powerful as far as just adding some dynamic to your website, some interest, and connecting with people more personally. And then I also would like to give a shout out to Jim. I've gotten deeper into the areas of property management, rentals, and real estate investment, which are his three main things. than I ever thought I would get. And yeah, I've learned a lot, and I've also gained a real appreciation for the depth of Jim's experience. And one little story I'll share is when I first looked at his real estate investment information and in videos, he puts together great videos. Is a real content generator. But when I first looked at his real estate investment, I was thinking, hey, he's going to be encouraging people to invest in real estate. And every page on his website, every video says, don't invest now. It's a horrible time to invest. And it just impresses me that a person has that kind of integrity to look at the market and say, don't use this business right now. Hold off another year, and that's going to be the best time to invest, because you can bet there are a lot of people that are getting people into real estate investments, and those people will find themselves underwater very quickly. So yeah, 2 shout outs there.
Thanks, Dave.
Awesome. Thank you. Mark, you wanted to add something?
Yeah, I just wanted to add a couple more things. Number one, I've had the privilege of working with a number of the folks here. David, you've helped me on out and given me a lot of direction when we were looking at my website. Gina, absolutely terrific person, pointed me in the right direction for a couple different things. Gary's helped me on out. Stan, however, there are times I think Stan cares more about my business than I do. He is always on the lookout for things that may help me, and I can be kind of a difficult individual to deal with. I'm the prototypical doubting Thomas, and yet Stan is always got his heart wide open to try to help me consider alternatives. I was very comfortable with what I did pre-COVID. I'm still dealing with the world after COVID. I am not technically savvy at all. You know, I peek at Facebook. It took me a half hour to do a Google review today. I couldn't figure out how to do it. So, but Stan is terrific. If you ever need anybody that is going to try to provide you with options that may work for you and your business and is willing to spend the time, you can't find a better partner than Stan Shields.
Absolutely.
Good.
Thank you. So I'm gonna piggyback on something that Jim said just as a comment, and that is about video. And that's going to be the way of marketing going into the future. Forbes, I believe it was Forbes that did an article where they talked about the video, the creator market, or the creator, what's the right word for it? The value of the people that are out there creating videos, especially on the YouTube platform, is valued at something like $20 billion right now, or beginning of 2022, about $20 billion creator valuation or creator market out there. They're expecting that to be over 105 billion by the end of 2022. That's pretty explosive growth in just a 1-year period of time. And what's happening there is that you're seeing video explode everywhere. TikTok is just driving the world crazy with all the short form videos, and TikTok has forced YouTube and Facebook and Instagram, which is still part of Facebook, but it's forced all of them to up their game and to even add short form video because of all of what's happening in the TikTok world. But all of it is driving, you know, people used to, I had a student, one of my students told me something. I mean, literally it was probably 10 years ago, 15 years ago. He said that video was going to be king and you really need to get involved in video. And I was just too pigheaded to understand it and see it, and didn't really get as involved as I should have. As I look back on the world, you know, from where we are right now, looking back, I'm like, oh my gosh, this guy gave me such great advice and I didn't listen to it back then. But if there's any one thing from marketing your business that I would tell you to do starting now, it's start using video. Yes, they're going to suck in the beginning. Yes, they're not going to be great. Yes, you're going to feel really weird on camera. Yes, it's going to be painful. All of those things that you're fearing, yes, they will be true. But guess what? Over time, like everything in life, you get better the more you do it. You do a video today and it's horrible. You're like, oh my gosh, I don't want people to see me. Every single person that you watch that has the video channel now that has 1 million subscribers and 2 million subscribers, they all were really bad on their first video. Every single one of them. But the ones that are exploding now, it's because they worked their way through creating horrible videos and they learned how to get better. The video coach that I have is Sean Cannell. He says, get 1% better with every video. Just get 1% better, but just keep making videos because that's the only way you get better. But those videos can pay off for you. I'm starting to see that. People are finding me on YouTube. And then when they come to you from that channel, through that mechanism, when they come to you, they're already ready to work with you. You don't have to convince them of who you are and what you do. They're ready because they already feel like they know you. They've already watched. I had a lady tell me that she binged watch a bunch of my videos and it was 1 o'clock in the morning. And she says, I have to go to bed. I got to quit watching this guy's videos. I was shocked. That's like the biggest compliment in the world for me. I'm like, holy moly, somebody actually binge watch my videos. So yes, it's hard to do those in the beginning, but that market, that whole thing is only going to explode and just become bigger. So put yourself out there. Go start creating video content. Jim's seeing it, you know, with his content, and he's seeing his channel grow. He's seeing getting more subscribers. And as it continues to grow, he'll get people that are going to come to him ready to do business with him simply because they've seen his videos and they already feel like they know him. Right? So go get started on video. My big shout out is going to be to Gina. Today, I met Gina probably, I don't know, 3 years ago now. I don't even know how long it is, but 4 years ago, doing these events, right, where we're out marketing whatever business or things that we're doing. I met Gina at one of those, and I always liked credit unions, but I hadn't found the credit union that I really wanted to work with. And Gina's so nice and sweet. She just very calmly talks to you about it and tells you about it and gives you little, she gave me those little gifts or whatever that they have at all the events and all that stuff. And then they opened a new branch that was really close to where I live. So I thought, well, let me go try it. And I'll tell you, I love America First. It is to me, they're the absolute best credit union here in this area. Go check out America First. Okay. So anyway, and I love Gina. Gina's awesome. So, and I miss Gina. She doesn't show up as much. Start coming back. Okay. So, all right. So anybody else?
Yeah, well, I'm assuming we're like talking about like sharing thoughts and whatnot. And about video, yeah, no, that is exactly true. I mean, granted, I'm like 20 years old, so you guys could take whatever I'm saying with a grain of salt because I'm a newbie. But yeah, video is very much incredibly important. And every time I even just go on YouTube on my own, I will always like see a lot of, from what I see them as, very much like, I always see errors that people will make, especially businesses when they try to like make an ad to go up on social media and YouTube. And mistakes I'll always see them make is, you know, all due respect, right? They're trying to make money. And honestly, I completely get that. But people these days, they go on social media, they go on YouTube, they don't want to really see that stuff. And if they are willing to see it, they don't want like a 4-minute long ad talking about that. No one wants that. All of you guys skip that. Everyone skips it. And it never really works in their favor. And so if you guys are even trying to make like advertisements for your businesses or anything, like please do not like try your best to make it not boring, because people these days have such a, and I even myself, I have a very low attention span. So when I see something that's like talking and like the most typical corporate looking thing, I'll probably like click off or even just space out watching it. And but of course that's just how people are these days. And it's even like when it comes to other ads, like those very relatable ads that, like, say you see Taco Bell doing, where it's like they say some young hip thing and it's meant to be relatable. People don't like that stuff, surprisingly enough. People don't like the very obvious, like, hey, look at us, we're just like you guys, we're using your lingo, we're showing people using your lingo. I would say the best thing people, when they're advertising their own company, the best thing they can do is to just try to portray a very human essence to it, not a business essence per se. Keep the professionals, to keep all that stuff, but do not like do not make it seem so forced to a viewer, because if people are going to watch something that is relatable, they're not going to want something that's very robotic, like they're watching a Terminator or like Skynet talking to them. But that's just my input on it. I'm 20 years old, so take whatever I'm saying with a grain of salt.
It's a good tip, right? Thank you.
Very
Yep, just be authentic and deliver value. Think of delivering value first, not promoting yourself, but delivering value. Think about how you can deliver value.
good.
That's the key.
Yeah.
Okay. Well, I think that we're pretty much there then. We have our next meeting is going to be the third Wednesday in May, and it's going to be totally virtual. So the way these meetings go now is that on the first Wednesday, we have our hybrid meeting, and we're expecting very much to grow the live audience, and we appreciate everyone who comes virtually. So the first Wednesday at 11:30 is the hybrid meeting. The third Wednesday is totally virtual, and you'll get the announcements in networklasvegas.com in our e-blast that comes out every Tuesday. And then the fourth Tuesday of the month is the live networking meeting in the evening. And this is just a good time to enjoy the end of your day, meet a few people, have some great conversations, enjoy some refreshments, and also invite people that you know who own a business and are would value connecting with others. That's our great time to invite someone new. Okay, well, that pretty much concludes our time here. Any other comments, thoughts that anyone would like to share?
None from me. I'm good.
Next time I'll try to remember to bring a face cam for this when I'm in the office.
All right, good.
Hey, David, are all the virtual or the live ones going to be over at Jim's office?
The first Wednesday will always be at Jim's office. Yes.
For now.
At least at the foreseeable future, until Jim gets tired of us and kick us
Well,
out.
I mean, if you guys have an alternative, I'm totally game. I'm willing to host, and it's easy to host here. So.
I was just wondering. I think that's wonderful that you're doing that, Jim.
Oh, okay, good. All righty. All right, guys. We're
Okay.
done.
All right. Sounds good. Everybody take care.
Good to
See
see
you in
you
a couple
all.
of weeks.
Oh, don't forget to save the chat if you haven't.